and Brew.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you happen to be listening or watching this. We appreciate it. This is a live broadcast of the Morgan Podcasting Network. We do a couple of different things on the network here. Sometimes we group them together in one show. Sometimes they're split up. We got a big football extravaganza for you off the top. And then we're going to do some wrestling on the back end because we have a premium live event, a huge premium live event airing on ESPN for the first time. We'll do some of that after we talk about NFL week number 2 and week number 3. My name is Rod Morgan. I will serve as your host, the executive producer of this podcast, and the host of the wrestling show coming up on the second half. His name is Jimmy Jamriska. Jimmy, hello.
Rod, I'm a Bears fan, and I can't wait to talk about football.
You definitely are excited to talk about the Bears. Somebody who I guess is excited to talk about football because both of his teams won for a change. He's our old man. He's down there in Bloomington. He's Chris King. Chris, hello.
Rod, how good or what's the record of your Bears team right now? It's 0-2, right? And the team that you just
cocky.
dropped into the garbage, kicked to the side. 2-0, baby.
So second favorites are now dropped to the garbage and kicked to the side. Chris King has the same life motto as Ricky Bobby's dad. If you ain't first, you're last. So I cannot appreciate the Colts and the Bears at the same time in Chris's world. Somebody who was a fellow Bears fan with me and also down there in complete last at 0-2. But he's our football handicapper. He knows an awful lot about lots of other teams. So he doesn't have time just to be wallowing about the Bears. He's still got numbers to crunch. He's still got plays to make. He's our handicapper. He's Josh Williams. Josh, hello.
Hey, what's up, Rod? That last week might have been my worst football week ever for me. Let me go on a mini rant here. Notre Dame loses a heartbreaker. Bears get embarrassed. I lose my season-long fantasy game, lose an FFPC fantasy league because that ridiculous Nico Collins catch in the end zone, which you would have thought would have helped me in my survivor pick of Houston, but no, lose that too because Houston goes shotgun from the 1 yard line, second and goal, no good. Third and goal, no good. Fourth and goal, no good. No bueno. But wait, it doesn't matter. They're up by 5 with just over a minute left, and they have Tampa backed up in their own territory, 4th and 10. Can the Texans D get one stop and win the game? No. I thought this was supposed to be the best D in the league. I don't think so. Yeah, and then the other against the spread bet, if Kelsey just drops the ball, I don't even say he catches it, just drop the ball, and Casey probably wins that game. Instead, he bats it up in the air. Philly gets it, returns it. They go on and win. So lose that one against the spread. Just brutal, just absolutely brutal this week in football.
Rod, Williams just went through the entire show in like 3 minutes. We couldn't shut him up last year, and now he just goes through the whole show. Our gimmick, we have a question at the beginning, apparently, sometimes, Williams.
He was excited, Jimmy.
Apparently. My goodness.
That's good. Listen, we want the excitement. We want the handicapper to bring it, right? Like, listen, Jimmy, we all grew up with guys like Mel Kiper Jr. and Dick Vitale and all these other guys that popped on ESPN back when they were a classic network, right? And what was our favorite thing about these guys? They were excited. They were fired up. They were like,
boom,
yes,
baby.
You want your guy that you listen to and brings you football knowledge to be as fired up about it as can be. And Williams definitely brings that. And Jimmy, you are right. I have a quick, cold, open question that I think you guys will like. Kawhi Leonard in the news an awful lot in basketball. We may get to that. At some point on this show. We are big basketball fans, me, Jimmy, and Chris. We're not going to get to that this week, however. We're going to reference it this way. Kawhi got paid $28 million to do nothing for aspiration. What's a company and a brand and a product that you guys would do actual work for, meaning endorse, commercials, all the above for, and they actually wouldn't have to pay you? So the complete opposite of Kawhi Leonard, but something that you know, love, and would be willing to support for nothing. Jimmy, your answer.
ExpressVPN. I would do an ExpressVPN. Why? Because they offer you the opportunity to get WWE from Canada, and you don't have to pay the extra fee. That's what I would do. That's where my mind is right now, Rod, because I'm tired of having to pay all this money for everything.
Listen to that. Jimmy giving a wrestling tease. Another reason for you to stay tuned for the second half of the show. If maybe you're not a wrestling fan, you can see just fired up about something there. Williams, something you use every day, something you believe in. If they came to you and they said, Josh, we got no money for you, but we'd love for you to be a commercial spokesman for us. What's something you'd hawk all the time for no money?
Probably my gym membership with the high intensity interval training. It's helped me lose some pounds, and it's actually a healthy addiction. So let's go with that.
Nice. All right, I'll jump in there really quick. If you're a longtime listener to this podcast, you know I would have no problem whatsoever doing numerous commercials for Mountain Dew, saying that this podcast is brought to you by Mountain Dew, having a huge Mountain Dew bottle behind me, being forced to take numerous sips of Mountain Dew during the podcast, say different flavors that come out. They don't have to pay me anything. Throwing me some Dew every once in a while would still even seem like payment, so I wouldn't even need that. I love Mountain Dew that much that I would be more than happy to shill for them, because then hopefully I could get some shine from just being on the Mountain Dew brand. So that's my answer there. Chris, I'm really interested in your answer here, because I know fundamentally in your core you would not do no work for no play for any reason. But
well,
for the spirit of the question, Chris, just tell me a brand you love and believe in.
I have to agree with Jimmy. I was going to say a VPN. Mine would have been Proton. That's who I use. I've done this in the past, Rod. Believe it or not, it was Masterson's, Northwest Indiana. They would just give you a free tux rental if you wore it to school 1 year. But to be honest, the brand that you don't have to pay me a dime, I do it already. I've had this stuff since the 80s. It's Champion gear, Rod. I still got some old school Champion sweatshirts, hooded sweatshirts and whatnot. You don't have to pay me. I've loved those sweatshirts since they were out 40 years ago, and I can't believe they're back.
Listen, logos, man, it's always best to keep it simple, and the Champion C, simple and iconic, right, Jimmy?
Terrific. And when they changed to that, whatever crappy logo they changed to, what about a decade ago, and the company just went down, don't change your logos. Here's the thought. Hey, just keep it the same. And I'm not even seriously, don't change your logos. It's not that hard. Make it iconic, like McDonald's, Burger King. They went back to the old logo. Why? Because it was better.
Exactly. So there we go. The cold open question of the week got some people fired up. Williams, we know, is already fired up. He's always fired up to talk NFL. Quickly, if you're just checking in with us, thank you very much. We appreciate you getting on board. Josh is going to give you 2 picks against the spread every week. We got a couple of little fun games we play here, a wins league and a survivor pool. We'll update that for you here as the show goes along, or at the end if we don't get to it. But we also have some fun things. Jimmy's going to tell you the face and the heel of the week. Chris is going to put somebody onto his Leatherheads team. Williams is going to yell at coaches. It's going to be great. But guys, I think we got to start where we alluded to before we diverted to the cold open question. The Colts are 2-0, a team we support on this podcast. And the Bears are 0-2, a team that we don't support on this podcast. Williams, I'm going to put it to you, our football guy, first, and then we'll go to Chris and Jimmy after this. Who's got more reason? Okay. Who are the Colts more fake at 2-0, or are the Bears more fake at 0-2? You know what I mean? Like, do you see the Bears being able to pull out of this and be a better football team, and then the Colts hitting the skids a little bit and falling back to more where we thought they might be? Which one do you think we're closer to? I guess that's my question. Not put very well, which is why I'm a semi-professional podcaster, not a professional.
I would lean towards the Bears being fake at 0-2, just because I have faith in some Ben Johnson. But I think it's more so I'm starting to believe a little bit in this Indianapolis Colts team. And we said at the start of the year that this was the highest variance team of the whole year. And I think we all, maybe except for Chris, thought that they were going to be really, really bad. But the high variance, like, they could be good. And I was down on Houston. And then Tennessee, I just did not trust the coaching staff. I picked Jacksonville to win this division. I think it's between Jacksonville and Indy now. I'm already drawing a line through Houston. That offensive line is just terrible.
Cross them off.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't trust Houston.
Cross them off.
Yeah. So the Colts, they have weapons, and They have a really good coach. I thought Steichen called an awesome game, except for those last 3 plays where they settled for the 60-yard field goal. They had Denver playing, on their heels, the defense the whole game. A very balanced run, pass, just had them off sequence the whole game. They used Tyler Warren perfectly. JT looks like the JT of old, and I really think the Colts can do something here in a winnable division. I think the Bears can bounce back, but Jalen Johnson going down on defense is a huge blow. And what the main thing with the Bears right now is they can't get any pressure. There's no edge pressure for the Bears at all. 29th in pressure, 31st in blitz rate. That has to go up because he can't get any pressure. So everyone wants to blame Ben Johnson. Everyone wants to blame Caleb Williams. And Caleb wasn't great in week 1. I thought he played better week 2. Rome dropped some passes, but that was a kitchen sink game for Detroit. So they could tell they wanted to beat Ben Johnson really bad. So I think the Bears can bounce back, but I think I have more faith in the Colts being for real than anything.
All right, lot there. Chris, gloat a little bit about your Indianapolis Colts here, because Williams is right. All 3 of your other members of this podcast, we were down on the Colts. You are loving this bit that you get to live out, saying that I wish ill upon the Colts, which I never did. I literally just said I switched them places on a card, right? Much the same way that the AP ranks college football teams week to week, but you've somehow said that I've scorned them and I've stabbed them in the back and all of the above. So, but you get the chance to gloat. You're the one driving that train this year.
Listen, Rod, do I really believe that Daniel Jones is going to continue to have a tie in rushing touchdowns among all players in the NFL? No, I don't. All right. But I will say I believe in this offensive line. All right. They have proved again they are probably one of the best run blocking offensive lines in football. They're right up there with San Francisco right now. Their offensive line's really solid. But this offensive line is just dominating that line of scrimmage. And when you do that, you can have continued success. You'll have more time for the quarterback. You'll have more time for the receivers. You have more room for Jonathan Taylor to make cuts and get into open field. And when you're a Bears team and your coach is calling you out for your practice habits, it's not a good sign.
J Squared, you've heard Chris give the virtues of the Colts. You heard Williams say that he thinks the Colts are pretty good, maybe better than we all gave him credit for. You also heard him say a lot about your Bears there. What say you? Do you got more faith the Bears are going to turn it around, or are you worried that the Colts are maybe a little not as good as they seem?
The Bears record is where I thought the Bears record would be after 3 weeks. Their pass rush, like Williams said, even though we have a big money player or a player that just makes big money, as someone on CHGO said, Montez Sweat, and then Dio Adangbo, who the Colts just let go. He had a good first game, but we need to get to the quarterback more, or we're dead because we have no defensive backs. So I'm more bullish on I think bullish is the right word. I don't know stocks. I am definitely more on the Colts for sure. I think that they have a recipe to continue to do what they've been doing these past 2 games. They have a good running game. Danny Dimes, you call him Dr. Jones, lady. He is perfect for the Steichen offense, so that's good. There was a stat, I think Williams actually might even alluded to it, where the short passes, he's hitting everything, and that's really all that matters. The thing, though, that does worry me a little bit is that Steichen, those last 4 plays to set up for a 64-yard field goal is really that I don't understand that. There was 11 people in the box at one point. Just do a slant to Josh Downs for 5 yards. Done. But no.
Oh, listen, honestly, if they don't get that penalty there, I was going to be imploring Williams to put Steichen in his "Are you serious?" Because how do you not get more yards than that? How are you just like, yeah, no, we're cool with the plus 60-yard field goal. That's the one that we're going to take. Like,
hey, some kickers can do it.
I walked out of the house. He missed that field goal. I walked out of the house. All right. I was so upset, and my roommate had to come out and grab me like, hey, there was a flag. I'm like, what? And I got to come back in. But yeah, I was so mad at the whole situation. I walked out of the house.
Hey, quick shout out to Mark for saying Deshaun Watson was paid $230 million for doing nothing too. So Kawhi Leonard needs to step up a little bit. So there's that.
Oh, that's a classic line from the Crippler there. Thanks for checking in, Crippler. Appreciate that, brother. Thanks for viewing. Yeah, I guess, Jimmy, where I'm at here is I have to stay in my lane, right? Like maybe my switching of the Colts and the Bears has brought about some sort of good karma for the Colts. So I have to stay in my lane here, Jim. But what I'm worried about is, are the Bears fans gonna come for me at some point? Like, let's say the Bears get to 0-4, 0-5. Are Bears fans coming with stakes and burning?
Pitchforks.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Are they
You're not
coming
a
at me?
Bears fan, dude. You don't know. We all expect this. We do. It's fine. It is what it is. They're going to
Chris,
give up
so I'm
95
right though,
points
right?
to the Cowboys. They're going to give up 90 points to the Cowboys this week. Just throwing
That game's
out
going to be incredible. I mean, if they just let Russell Wilson line them up, if Caleb Williams can't light up this Cowboys D, then
You're
it
not
really is
wrong.
over for Caleb. Chris,
Like
now
this should be about the best Caleb Williams looks all year, I would think. This will probably be the easiest secondary.
The
that he'll
Flus
go
returns,
against.
though. The Flus, he knows everything about Caleb Williams. They met every day and talked. They did.
Yes, they
I
did.
saw it.
They did. Chris, am I allowed on the Colts train at any point this year, or am I banned all year because of what I said to start with? Is there any scenario where you could see me being allowed maybe on like the back car, like if I agreed to like clean up after dinner and stuff?
Yes, of course. You just have to denounce the Bears.
Denounce. Wow. That's
Wow.
strong stuff. Strong stuff. All right. You know what we are not going to denounce? We're never going to denounce our guy, Jimmy Jamriska. We told you he's going to host the wrestling show on the second half of this podcast. He's going to bring his face and heel of the week right now. Jimmy.
Chris's Cowboys, Brandon Aubrey. It just, they're setting him up for that 64-yard game-winning field goal. Everyone knew he had it. I love it. Face of the week. Hey, a kicker actually made a field goal that was a big field goal. So that's got to be something, right, Chris?
Two of them, actually, because that's just, that 64-yarder is just to get into overtime. Right? Then he has to make one to win the game. That was 46-yarder, which, yeah, he makes it look like a chip shot, but that's not a guarantee. And he has the most accuracy over the last, 4 or 5 years of field goals over 50 yards. So they're allowed to mess with the balls now, the kickers are, before the games. You're going to start seeing this a lot more.
They're allowed to bring their own balls now. I mean, that's crazy, and they're still not doing very good.
Okay, well,
Speaking about not doing very – go ahead.
Wait a minute real quickly, Jim. With the Cowboys, does anybody know Brandon Aubrey's contract status? I mean, what offseason are we looking at where Brandon Aubrey is holding Jerry Jones up for the most money that a kicker's ever gotten in the history of the NFL?
I want my $6 million. I want my $6 million.
It helps that he was a soccer or European football player before this, so he probably wasn't getting paid that much to begin with.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, he's from Notre Dame, on the Notre Dame soccer team.
How about that? Well, still, I guarantee this is the Cowboys. I'm just saying Brandon Aubrey's going to be holding Jerry Jones up, and Jones at one point said, I got the greatest kicker of all time, and Brandon Aubrey's going to be using that against him. It's going to be a whole circus. It always is in Dallas. Jimmy, who's the heel?
All right, we have 2 heels a week because it's my thing and I can do it. Travis Kelce, we've already talked about. He could have just dropped it. Everything would have been fine. No. He needs to volley it up there for someone to intercept. But the true heel of the week, speaking about management, Jerry Jones might be the best owner in the world. Not a very good GM. I got a horrible owner and GM. The Brown family, the Bengals, have once again caused Joe Burrow to miss a season. This is sad. Joe Burrow's so good, and they still have no offensive line. Like, what is going on here? You can't even get towels in their facility, let alone a left tackle. Come on, guys.
Yeah, you don't hear any good stuff about the Bengals, right? Nobody's like, the Bengals are opening a new state-of-the-art practice facility. You know what I mean? Like nobody's talking about the sponsorship deal that some great, American iconic brand just struck with the Cincinnati Bengals. You know what I mean? You're not hearing about the incredible new stadium that they're building on the outside of Cincinnati, you know what I mean, or anything like that. So it's clear that the Brown family is a little bit like, what's the bottom line here? How much money's coming back to us? And that's
it can't be that
about football.
It can't be that horrible though. Ocho Cinco lived in that facility for 2 years. Like he literally lived in the training facility for 2 years. So it couldn't be that horrible.
Well, I mean, I've not been in an NFL training facility in quite a while. So, I mean, I'm sure that they are very nice digs, but they need to spend more money. But here's the only thing I will say to that. Like, everybody likes to say spend money, but they're paying Jamar Chase and they're paying T. Higgins an awful lot of money, right? And they're paying Joe Burrow himself an awful lot of money, right? And there's such a thing as a salary cap in the NFL. So, like, there's only so much money that can go around. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have a good defense and That's just what makes it so tough to win in the NFL. But I think, Jimmy, you're right to call out the Bengals for so many reasons, not just Joe Burrow getting hurt. All right, Williams, let's go to you. Get some of your picks against the spread here before Chris inducts somebody to his Leatherheads team. Unless you're ready to take some shots at coaches here, Williams, you can do all your serious here if you'd rather.
Well, yeah, I was going to follow up on Cincy there. Yeah, I mean, 32nd in yards per carry, 31st in QB hit rate, 30th in QB pressure rate. Their defense is only forcing punts on 18% of their drives. That ranks 31st in the NFL. And then how about this? Since Joe Burrow has been in the league, these are the pass block win rankings for Cincy. 29th, 30th, 27th, 32nd, 28th. Zach Taylor without Joe Burrow, 8-22 record. I mean, Zach Taylor and GM Duke Tobin. Do you guys know this organization doesn't have a GM designation? He just acts as the GM Duke Tobin, and they only do that because, I mean, it's because if the fans knew who the GM was, they would have called for his head 27 years ago. I mean, this is 1984 Dan Marino all over again. The worst thing that could have happened to Dan Marino was they went to the Super Bowl. He said in an interview, "Oh, it's easy. We'll just get back here, every year from here on out," and that was in his second year. They never had a running game for Marino. They never had a defense for Marino. Now, Burrow, he gets to the Super Bowl in 2021. That was the worst thing that could have happened. One, it prolonged Zach Taylor being there. He's terrible. And two, they don't give him an offensive line. So if you don't have an offensive line, if you don't have a defense, you're not going to the Super Bowl. And what was the other similarity in the AFC back then? Marino had to go up against John Elway, Jim Kelly, Boomer Esiason. Who does Joe Burrow have to go up against? Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. So this sucks. This sucks for Burrow because we keep on losing his prime years to injuries because these donkeys don't spend money where they should. I'm out.
Bad week for the Bengals. Getting a heel of the week and getting Williams is scoring on Are You Serious? My goodness. Let's let Williams cool down for a second. Chris, tell us who you're going to induct into the Leatherheads team this week.
All right, just right off the bat, because I'm a homer, that offensive line for the Colts almost got a group effort nomination. But my honorable mentions, Keith Walker III from Seattle. Dude only had 13 carries for 105 yards, 8 yards a carry, but over half of that, 4.7 yards per carry, was after contact. He gets hit and he keeps trucking. All right. Also, best PFF score for a running back this past week. I hate doing this because he plays for the Eagles, but Jordan Mailata, he had again, 2 weeks in a row, the highest PFF score for a run blocking lineman. This dude is just a monster on that line, and he opens up those holes for Philadelphia, and I hate it. But
him against Jared Verse this week is going to be awesome.
Yeah. I got to give the Leatherhead this week to an old man. All right, he's been around the league for a while. I know Williams loves this dude, Fred Warner from San Francisco. All right, not only did he have elite run defense, he had elite pass coverage. He broke up a pass. He had 7 tackles, 4 of them were assists. He had a 95.1 PFF score. He forced and also recovered a fumble, all right? Important aspects, Fred Warner, my Leatherhead of the week.
Jimmy Jam, I'm seeing a pattern here to the Leatherhead, which I love it. It is a great addition, but I'm seeing a pattern. I'm not sure Chris is going to pick a young guy to win the Leatherheads award. It seems like he likes to shout out his old guys for doing something good.
So last week
Travis Hunter was right there this past week. All right, he got over 20 plays on offense and defense. Last week he picked
Derrick Henry, and this week Derrick Henry did nothing, and he's in my fantasy team. So thanks, Chris. So Fred Warner fans out there, watch yourselves next week.
Oh no, the curse of the Leatherheads.
Curse of the Leatherhead.
Curse of the Leatherheads. That is not good. All right, Williams, you said it wasn't a good week for you last week. Let's put that in the past. Let's move forward. Let's get some good picks against the spread this week. Here we go. Involving one of your favorites, Mr. Shanahan.
You called it, Rod. Guys, when you're off to a rough start, ATS-wise, early on in the year, there's only one thing to do. Let's go with the chosen one. I am taking Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers -2.5, -115 on MGM. Make sure you get that -2.5 because it is bumped up to -3 everywhere else. Shanahan succeeded with backup quarterbacks. You know, what's new? Mac Jones looked good last week. They get Jawan Jennings back. He had a big game. They still have McCaffrey. They got Pearsall. And remember, Zona could have easily lost to the Saints in week 1. New Orleans dropped 2 passes in the end zone on those last 3 plays to send the game into overtime. And then last week, they almost blew a 27-3 third quarter lead versus Carolina at home. Had to make a defensive stand late to hold on there. In the non-week 18 games where starters were resting, the Niners have won 4 of 5 versus Zona. And guys, we're breaking out some ref stats in 2025 here. Since 2016, divisional home teams are, get this, 44-16, that's 73% on the money line, and 41-17-2 against the spread, 71% in John Hussey officiated contest. Rod, one of your favorites. He's the biggest home field advantage ref we have. That includes a 6-2 against the spread record last year. The Niners have only played 1 home game with Hussey in the Shanahan era, but it was a big one. The 2019 NFC Championship game versus the Packers, where San Fran demolished Green Bay 37-20. I think they see John Hussey and they get all good feelings going on Sunday. They're going to cover against Arizona -2.5.
That Hussey, he throws it out to everybody. I'm telling you. Thank you very much. I love that pick. Listen, I think the Cardinals are a bit of a fraudulent 2-0. I'm not sure about the Call of Duty release schedule as far as that goes this week for the 49ers. I think it's still early.
November 14th, so Cardinals are still dangerous.
They are. They might still be dangerous, but I think they're a fraudulent 2-0. I really do. Like Williams said, they barely beat the Panthers. The Panthers stink. I love it. I love Williams having a rough spot, Jimmy, and he goes to the man that has made so much content on this podcast, Kyle Shanahan.
It just warms the cockles of my heart, Rod, that
Sure
Williams
does.
goes back to his boy. I love it.
Sure does. Williams, I like your next game because it involves one of my guys. I love me some Jim Harbaugh. You guys wanted Jim Harbaugh to be hired as the Bears coach the year before your savior came in, and when they kept Eberflus, that would have proven well. Harbaugh wins wherever he goes. Chargers looking like a legit 2-0 right now. They're taking on the Broncos. Williams, you love the Broncos in the preseason, but it's kind of rocky after that loss to the Colts.
So the first game we went back with the chosen one in my back pocket. This week I was high on the Broncos early on in the year. I'm sticking with the Broncos. Give me Denver +3 -120 on it.
This is the stay. This is the let me help the people out here. This is the week 3 don't panic play here, right? This is you. I'm believing all the work that I put in the preseason on the Broncos. I'm not going to panic after 2 weeks play. That's what this is.
Yeah, make sure you get it +3. It's -120 on MGM or Caesars. It's -2.5 everywhere else. But I mean, I know you guys are all Colts fans, but Denver controlled that game last week at Indy. Bo Nix, who I thought played well, threw a terrible pick in field goal range late, and that swung the game. You've got extra motivation for this Broncos team after the controversial leverage loss. You've got the Chargers coming off short rest. There will be a ton of Bronco fans in attendance. And Geno took way too many shots down the field in that game. He could have had 6 picks in that game. Thought he missed a lot of wide open wide receivers with some overthrows. And the way to beat the Chargers is to kind of nickel and dime that defense down the field. That's exactly what the Broncos and Sean Payton are good at. And how about this? More ref stats. In 2023, home teams with Sean Smith reffing were 3-13 on the money line and 4-11-1 against the spread. We know the Chargers won't have that much of a home field advantage in LA. I think eventually these two teams are pretty even. I will gladly take the 3 points in Denver. I think Denver's got something to prove this week. Everyone's crowning the Chargers. I'm not so fast on them. Give me Denver +3.
Williams, I'm a little nervous. Did we watch the same Denver game? I mean, Denver was fine, but the Colts really played well against them. I didn't think Bo Nix had that good of a game. Maybe we watched a different game. I don't know.
I thought he played a lot better from week 1.
Yeah, but the Chargers are so. I mean, the Chargers aren't going to charge until like week 13, though. You know what I mean?
Colts did win the time of possession battle in that game. We had it for 32-something to their 27-something.
Yeah, I mean, let's not get it wrong. The Colts lost that game, and Denver won the game, right? But they didn't.
Yeah.
That's just gonna. I think you just got to throw that out. Yeah, listen, I'm very happy that you went back to ref stats. I'm very excited for that.
I got to do something. Change up the mo here.
Oh, that's terrific. That's terrific. I think all we have left now is our pretty pathetic eliminator pool. Pretty pathetic. Chris went out first week.
Yep.
That's great. Williams went out second week. Picked the Texans. Good job,
Sure.
Williams.
Sure.
So third week, we're going to let you guys still pick until one of us, you know what's going to be great? Each week, one of us is going to go out. Rod, it's the battle. Who's going to go out, me or you this week, buddy? Who you got, Rod, in your eliminator matchup?
Well, is Chris still alive or has he died again already? I can't remember who Chris had.
I've
No,
only
he
died
picked
once,
the
week
Cardinals.
one.
The Cardinals wanted to lose
Okay.
last week, but they didn't.
All right. See, I wonder, is there, I guess we all know that Chris was the first to go out. I was going to say, I wonder if there's a way that we can notate, as the way the deaths come along or whatever, you know what I mean?
I
But
have
guess
it
we all
noted.
know that
Don't
Chris
worry.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Because Williams is already buying in with a new life, Jimmy.
Jimmy's not letting me slide on that.
No.
Yeah,
Mr.
well, you are dominating in the wins
Mr.
league,
Look
as
at
we
me, the
mentioned.
Cowboys. We're so good. We can score 75 points against the Giants and 90 against the Bears.
Yeah, I don't think he didn't catch your little shot there, Chris. All right, so there's two ways that I want to go, right? Williams talked about one game that I was certainly looking at possibly taking, but I believe where I'm going to go here is you got to start picking some teams that aren't all the way considered the best teams. So a team that I liked a lot of what they looked like in week one, other than a field goal being missed. I thought they looked really, really good in week two, and they're playing a team that is pretty pathetic, and I haven't picked against that team yet. So give me the Falcons. I'm going back to memories of water slide days here,
Woo!
Jimmy. Give me the Falcons over the Panthers. That's who I got. I know I'm getting a little risky here, Jim, but I can't just pick great teams every week. If I'm gonna actually survive in this thing and roll along, I gotta go somewhere here. And the Panthers are pathetic, and I don't think they're getting their first win in week 3. I think it's coming later than that.
You A, picked an NFC South team, and B, picked the Falcons. Think about that for a second, what your life is going for right now. If I'm you, I'm sweating the whole game. Even with the Panthers aren't good, but they make them close. So you're going to be sweating till the very end.
That's fine. I'm going to be sweating anyway. I mean, listen, I sweated out my first week's win, right? The Broncos barely beat the Titans there. You know what I mean? And it was looking bad for the Ravens a little bit there. And then they finally said, okay, we're going to pick this up, and blew them out. So, this is the NFL.
Okay. So you went kind of outside the box. Now I did my outside the box the first week with the Cardinals, and they wanted to lose that game. So then I kind of went back on the straight and narrow with the Bills in week 2, and I'm going to continue that. I need a win here. I'm going Packers over Browns. I know it's out there. How can I pick that? Packers over Browns. I'm going to win something. Damn it. I want to win.
I should get extra points for being Falcons over Panthers if I'm still around over Jimmy. But what do our people
okay.
in?
Hey,
No.
Chris, shocking. Rod gets extra points for the thing that he wants to do.
Right.
I get it. I'm shocked. Wow. Rod is making up new rules for games that we're playing that don't count for anything. Okay. Chris, who you got?
Listen, I have a loss already. I don't want another one until at least all of you have failed at least once. So I have to watch out for these good matchups. So I want to take the Seahawks because they got the Saints visiting Seattle. I don't think the Saints can do anything in Seattle. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, the Saints. I don't know. Williams, you're our NFL expert here. Are the Saints that bad?
They're not, but Chris took my pick. I'm also going with Seattle. So,
Okay.
And I think Rod has a better chance to win with the Falcons than you do with the Packers. I think the Packers better watch out this week because the Browns defense is no joke.
Joey Flax, baby. Joey Flax hasn't been broken down yet. He's thrown 70 passes already in 2 weeks. He's out there flinging it. Let's go, Joey Flax.
I think it's more than that, actually. Yeah, they have a really good defense, but their offense isn't very good. Although Quinshon Judkins, apparently the best running back in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I cut that dude in fantasy, and then they signed him 2 days later, and somebody else had picked him up. So another wonderful move by me there. But who cares about a Browns running back anyway?
Yeah.
The goal for
All
me
right,
and Chris
Jim,
is to
I
go
think that's-
17-1 here.
Should we update the actual wins league numbers here, Jimmy Jam, before we go
Yes.
out? I got Chris at 11.
Yep.
I got me at 8.
Yep.
I got you at 7.
Yep.
And I got Williams at 6.
Hey, I think we stop
Last
now
place.
while we're ahead.
Right? I
Man,
still like where Williams is sitting. Williams has got the Chiefs, right? Like, I don't think the Chiefs are that bad. What's hurting me is the Texans is my 4th pick. What's helping Chris is the Colts as his second to last pick have 2 victories. That's where he's making up a bunch of it.
The Colts, Cowboys, and Chargers. I got those C teams. They are winning for me. I don't know how or why, but I'm going to keep on trucking.
Yeah, but see, I got the Patriots and the Raiders when you got the Chargers and the Cowboys. So I've equaled you out there a little bit, right? But I got the Giants when you got the Colts. That was my big bold proclamation, and I thought Russell Wilson was gonna get him to 1-1, but it didn't happen. So I don't know about my bold New York prediction right now, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there officially. But I think that's all we got for the NFL, Mr. Williams. As always, we appreciate your input, your vigor, your excitement. We will talk to you next week. Jimmy Jam, I know we're excited. Premium live event this weekend. Wrestling on the Other Side. Let's go.
go Cubs.
That's
Go,
right.
Cubs, go.
Like,
Go,
comment, and
Cubs, go.
subscribe. Goodbye, Internet.
You guys sneaking in after I'd signed off. How dare you?
Playoff bound.
Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the Morgan Knows Podcasting Network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod. Where do we begin? Let's begin at the beginning.
Oh,
WrestleMania. Yeah.
Jimmy, we need to tell the people where to go. All right, there has been nothing but condemnation and confusion out there on the web. People don't know how to get to ESPN Unlimited because the website still says Plus. We talked about VPNs on the other pod. Why don't you run it down to our fans to let them know how they can get this premium live event on Netflix very easily?
So Netflix in every country but the United States has all WWE programming. It's a one-stop shop. It's got SmackDown, it's got Raw, it's got all the PLEs, it's got all the archives, everything. It's very nice. So if you have a VPN, and a VPN for our listeners who don't know is
And your host.
and your host who doesn't
your
know,
co-host.
Ram Jr., is essentially an app that you go on, and then you pick what server you want to have your internet based out of, essentially. So I can pick that I want it based out of London, England, and everything then will think that I'm in London. So if there's something blocked in London, I'm not going to be able to look at it. But if there's something blocked in the U.S. or in certain states in the U.S., I can look at it now. So for example, I can go to Ontario, and I'm in Ontario now, and I can look at Netflix. You don't have to do anything else. You just click the button, you're connected, you go to your Netflix app, it's all there. Wrestlepalooza is sitting on my Netflix right now. I can just hit a button and watch it. Actually pretty easy. A lot of VPNs are relatively cheap. It's $100 for the year, $60 for a year, something like that. And it's pretty safe, I think, as well. I mean, obviously you got to go with ones that are well known, but you can do a quick YouTube search on that one. Chris?
Yeah, you're right. No, they do a lot more than just trick your streaming services, right? They do ad blocking, malware protection, things like that. So it is nice. And if you happen to be a conspiracy nut like me, it's harder for Big Brother to track you.
Okay, wait, but Jimmy, can I jump in here with something real quick?
Yeah.
So
sure. Go ahead.
Wonderful, great, grand that you guys are talking about VPNs, and everybody should go ahead and get themselves a VPN. Do you know what I foresee here? VPNs 3-4 years from now are going to be $29, $39, $40 a year, much the same way that when we all left cable, right? We were all like, oh, cable's so expensive. You can get Netflix, it's $7.99. You can get this other one, it's $4.99. What are they doing with all of those now?
YouTube TV, $39.99.
Yeah. How expensive are all those now, right?
They're $84.99.
Yeah, they're going to get you one way or another. So we could have all these VPN companies make a little bit of money for a while, and all these people sign up for VPNs, but sooner or later they're going to figure that out, because you know what? Ultimately, the entertainment companies in this country don't want people watching their stuff and not paying the full freight. And they also don't want non-data. Okay, they want nothing more than to know today's digital world and to be able to track when we watch, how we watch, all of the above, right? So what they don't want is a guy sitting in Iowa on his couch eating Cheetos actually making him think he's a dude in Denmark watching it in the red light district. You know what I mean? They don't want that.
Denmark
So
audience
sooner or later they're going to figure out how to cut down this VPN. So
and then there will be a new way.
Try to figure out a way to watch the PLEs the way that TKO in WWE and ESPN intended, okay? Because TKO has showed us one thing and one thing only. They care about money. Money, 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 money. We have turned the ring into a minor league ballpark. We have announcers saying this match is brought to you by, while commercials for other things run between them and commercials for other things are around the match that is bringing you. It's insane. And then they're putting a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. They're taking John Cena's last match away from Boston and putting it in Washington, D.C. because they're paying more money. So I'm going to do my part and pay the full freight that they want in hopes that the TKO Corporation calms down for a hot second on charging people more and more and more money.
Yeah, usually I'm the person that does that. Just right now, I'm just going to kind of wait it out. Hopefully, YouTube TV and ESPN come up with a deal where you get the app access for free, but just like another $30 is ridiculous, and that's a lot. I mean, okay, you can get the package.
I don't disagree with you there, Jim. What you just said there is more what my actual play is here. I'm a YouTube TV subscriber. I believe that they will reach a deal at some point. I'm not paying for ESPN twice.
I mean, it's literally the only thing I care about watching on there, because I don't care about Southwest Eastern football, whatever. I can watch all the football I want to watch.
Whatever.
On
Actually, UFC is not going to be there anymore, but
UFC's on Paramount. That's another thing you got to pay for. So,
but I'm already in the Taylor Sheridan universe, so I got Paramount. Plus, that's where Top Gun Maverick lives, Jim.
I would say that's where Tom Cruise lives. That's the real reason you have Paramount.
I want to talk a little bit about NXT Homecoming before we get to WrestleMania. Then NXT Homecoming, I don't know if you watched it or not. It was actually pretty good. I watched a little bit of it on the CW. Just want to hit a couple things real quick. It was kind of a retro show. Tyler Breeze wrestled on there. I thought that he did a really good job. He hasn't been back for a long time. Triple H came out to start things off, and when back in the day, the black and gold NXT, Triple H's NXT was really hot, really amazing to watch. And then Shawn Michaels came out, and Shawn Michaels is kind of reinventing it again. And then Triple H said, well, what if I want to come back? And Shawn Michaels says, we're going to have a problem with that. And then William Regal comes out, and he goes, there's only one way to change this. And all the audience goes, War Games. And he goes, hey, that's my gimmick. And then he said, War Games, like he says. And I thought that was terrific. But two things I want to hit real quick. Finn Balor came out to his old music and was the most over he's been in 5 years. Guys, it's not hard. It's the same company, Rod. Give him the music. Make him be a good guy. It's not hard.
You say that, but I say give us Demonito, okay? Give us Demonito then. If you're not going to change him away from the Judgment Day, give us Demonito. Bring back Mr. Iguana. Let's see it on a SmackDown or a Raw or even a PLE. I don't want to see it on YouTube. I don't want to catch it on clips later. Demonito is incredible. Bring him out more if you're not going to let Finn go back to being the
demon,
the good guy. No, I don't like the demon. I like Demonito.
Chris.
Because the demon's fake. That's why I like Demonito.
Oh, the demon's fake.
Demonito's real, clearly. Didn't you see the clip where he popped up? There was nobody there. He popped up on his own, and Finn had to shove him back under the ring.
Chris, I'm not going to... I can't believe I'm saying this. Chris, give us some sense here, man.
All I know is that from what I learned over that past weekend was that Dominic Mysterio laid additional framework and foundation to prove that he controls all facets of the WWE. NXT's lucky that he didn't show up. I mean, if he did, he probably won another belt, right? So I think that's the next area he's going to conquer. He
Triple
has
A
2
Mega
belts
Champion
right now.
Dirty Dom Mysterio. Yes, he is.
Right?
We haven't talked about that either. Listen, he's everything. Dom Mysterio is the greatest wrestler of all time. Mark it down. Mount Rushmore wrestlers, Dom Mysterio is the only one.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not participating in any Dom Mysterio talk.
All right,
You're
here's the deal.
insane.
I'm just
Everything
not.
he
No, I'm
does
not.
is
Listen,
gold.
you guys pump him up so much. Everybody else pumps him up so much. There's plenty of gas bagging going on about Dominic Mysterio. I don't need to be part of it.
Listen, I thought he was a chump. I didn't want anything to do with him when I first started watching again. I was very vocal about that on this pod for a while. And the dude has just won me over. I'm hooked. I'm a member of whatever cult he's selling.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid, huh? You're drinking the
Yes.
Mexican Coke. There we go.
See,
for
Jimmy, listen,
AAA.
I'm sorry to sidetrack us again here real quick, but Chris,
Yeah.
I can't help but think of something here. You like to get on me for switching the Bears and the Colts, but it seems to
Uh-oh.
me that you have no problem in the wrestling game switching from old Drew McIntyre over to Dom Mysterio love here. And then where's LA Knight fit in? So somehow in wrestling, you're allowed to have 3 guys that you pull for, but in football, I can't pull for 2 teams.
Oh, there's way more than 3 guys I pull for, or women for that matter, I pull for in the WWE. I think that's pretty evident with all of us. But I have talked in length about how shocked I am that it happened. All right, I didn't expect that to happen. I wasn't going out trying to root for Dominic Mysterio, but here I am.
Also, one more thing on NXT Homecoming. They did our boy Bobby Roode and Joe Hendry wrong. They turned down the crowd during their backstage segment. So when Bobby Roode went like this and the entire crowd went glorious, you didn't hear anything. And then when Joe Hendry came out, you kind of heard a little muffle of something. Dude, what are you doing? These guys, give them their moment. I hate that.
Oh, listen, Joe Henry needs all the moments in the world belong to Joe Henry. The thing that he's been doing on NXT recently where he punched through the wall like the Kool-Aid man, where he came out in the middle of a match to save somebody when the person just said his name while he was in the middle of a chokehold. Like, that's just absolute great stuff. Bring me more Joe Henry. I believe.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Over the next couple of weeks, I want you to think who you want John Cena's final opponent to be. I'm going to go first, and I want him to come out on Raw because it's not going to be on SmackDown because he's done his last SmackDown. And I want him to say, for my last match, I'm going to come to the middle of this ring and I'm going to say his name and hopefully he appears. And then he drops the mic and walks out. I want John Cena's last opponent to be Joe Hendry, and Joe Hendry goes over and comes to the main roster because I live in a fantasy world and that is my fantasy. Well, okay, maybe I want that to happen.
Wow, Jimmy Jam.
I've said so many things into existence. Let's do it.
Wow. I'd never even considered Joe taking on John. Man, that would be absolutely something, wouldn't it? That would be absolutely something.
He's a little
I heard
older,
somebody pitch me the idea of Drew. I heard somebody pitch me the idea of Drew as John Cena's last opponent. And there's something in Drew as John Cena's last opponent to me too. There's something in like Drew gets over and maybe finally like stops the hard edge a little bit and becomes a little bit more babyface. I don't know. There's something in Drew, right? Like paying Drew back for all this work that he's done recently and trying to figure out a way to get him over. Maybe he doesn't have to turn face, but trying to pay Drew back and get him over with John in his final match. I see something there.
I mean, if that happens, that means Drew wins the belt from Cody, right?
Not necessarily. I think they could just wrestle.
Sure of.
But Chris, who would you like to see more face John Cena in his final match? Drew McIntyre or Joe Hendry?
I mean, I'm not watching NXT. I don't believe yet in Henry, right? So let me see the guy that I want to see, a guy that kind of reminds me of an Attitude Era. Give me LA Knight. Yeah.
Oh, okay. LA Knight for John Cena's final opponent. I want it to be somebody who is really going to get a big rub from it. And he's got to win because Cena's going to lose his last match. I want to see him catapult to the next level. And LA Knight, it could be it. And again, it could be like Drew McIntyre. It could be Seth Rollins. Who knows?
What about like a Tozawa? Would you like a Tozawa?
Just catapult him to the next level of second on the card.
What do you think?
I don't know.
JD McDonough, maybe JD McDonough, maybe get
He's
JD
got a big
little bit
enough
of
head as it is. Can you imagine him beating John Cena?
I mean,
what about a
Shinsuke?
What about a Shinsuke Nakamura? Is Shinsuke
out of nowhere
Nakamura still technically on the WWE roster?
He's doing a good job surfing right now, but yes, he is on the roster.
A Rusev.
There you go.
Rusev. Get his win back.
What about like an Aleister Black? What about an Aleister Black? Just pull out a rando. Just pull out an absolute rando. Because they got nothing right now, Jimmy, is what I'm trying to say by all of those names I just threw out. They got really nothing that makes any sense right now. And I love that Cena Lesnar is going to be the first match in this PLE because it's almost as if saying It's almost as if saying both of us want to get the hell out of here. So let us go off early.
This match is going to be 4 minutes long. Okay. All right. I've said it 3 times already. We're going to talk about it now. WrestleMania is in Saudi Arabia. That was announced the day before the announcement. So it's tough because WrestleMania is such a big event that so many people, Chris, go to. And it's a weekend of wrestling. That weekend now is not going to happen because, first of all, getting over to Saudi Arabia is thousands and thousands of dollars. You don't know how the tickets are going to be dispersed or anything like that. So this is going to be real tough. Royal Rumble's going there in 26. Mania's going there in 27. But Chris, if you're offered $100 million to go, you kind of have to go, right?
Yeah, I mean, that little rant sounds just like you're upset that Americans don't have WrestleMania in America. Is that all you're upset about?
This is the first time it's not been in North America because there was one in Toronto. I just think it's different. It's so different than anything else. It really is because Saudi Arabia.
What it means,
even if it's in London, even if it goes to London, London has a huge wrestling scene that you could still do a lot of those things at.
They obviously do in the Middle East, right? I mean, they have. They sell out those crowds, right? And if the money's there, then there's definitely something worthwhile going. All right, I can understand why some people may not be happy. Listen, blah blah blah. I don't know if we want the WWE to continue on as a business, don't they have to continue to grow across the world? I mean, we see them going to Australia, we see them going all over Europe, and we see the crowds and how passionate they are. I mean, we got to keep feeding that beast, and this is part of the cost. You're still going to watch, right?
Well,
and now it means that what happens in Saudi Arabia has consequences, because before we'd have this King of the Ring or something else, or Crown Jewel or something that really didn't ever mean anything or have any real consequences. We kind of wrote off those PLEs as nothing major is going to happen. Now we know major crap's going to happen and it's going to be important.
I mean, it's not going to change. I wasn't going to WrestleMania anyway, unless it's in Indy. I'm not going to WrestleMania, so I'm watching it on TV. But I did not think that's where you were going to go on that. Rod, what are your thoughts? Mania in Saudi Arabia.
$100 million, tried $250 million.
Whatever it is, yes.
Got paid to land that thing there. And it's just, I mean, I didn't think that I would be the grassroots guy here on this podcast. That's normally the thing that Chris does here. But like, how much is too much? You know what I mean? Like, are we all trying to sit here and think that the TKO Corporation and the WWE are just squeaking by right now? There's absolutely no way. They just signed a huge deal with Netflix.
Has done nothing for grassroots. Vince McMahon literally went around and bought up and demolished all the grassroots wrestling companies all over North America. So don't pretend like now the WWE needs to stick to its roots. They do nothing but tear up roots and buy people out.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it is. It is the money. I think. Okay, done. Yeah, we know podcast. We're like, that's fine. No big deal. Okay. I think I've heard a couple of good ideas, though, because we do have this huge independent scene that really does want WrestleMania weekend to be in an area where they can go and they can flourish, and they can have their events. What about they still do something in Vegas, but they show WrestleMania in the Sphere, and they have your big WrestleMania shop that you go to. You have all your independent scenes, so it's still something there. But the event is in Saudi Arabia. How about Vegas in the Sphere, Chris? Any thoughts on that?
That would be fun. I've never been to the Sphere. I hear it's pretty amazing. I do ask, though, could there be a middle ground too, where even though it's going to be in Saudi Arabia, the people that go to wrestling there don't have real jobs. So it doesn't matter if it's 12 in the afternoon, so it can be prime time for us, right? Does that work for you?
I actually think it's going to be early for us, like it usually is. I think it's going to be early for us in prime time for them, because the Saudi stuff is usually early.
I'm just saying, I think this is a situation where you can maybe make that like, hey, we know it's going to be over there. Let's maximize the dollars that we can get in the States by having it air prime time then.
I don't know about you, Jim, but I feel like Chris's answer to the cold open question at the beginning of this podcast should have been Riyadh season at this point.
I think so. Yeah, Chris is like, whatever. Pay the money. It's all about the money. Chris is just completely changed. Is this IU football being 2-0 in a huge game this week? Is this really messing with your mind?
Well, it's not just it's IU, it's the Colts, it's the Cowboys. All right. Thank God Notre Dame has lost, because that's kept me a little bit grounded. Otherwise, all my favorite teams would be winning. The Cubs are in the playoffs. Listen, things are going to go bad real quick.
Rod, the Cubs are a Major League Baseball team. Baseball is played with a white little ball, and you throw it, you hit it. Okay.
Oh, so you mean that movie, The Natural? There's a real sport that they play? Shout out Robert Redford.
Shout out Robert Redford.
R.I.P.
All right. So we go from Saudi Arabia to its sister city, Indianapolis, Indiana, for Wrestlepalooza. Wrestlepalooza is going to hopefully be an annual event, not necessarily in Indianapolis, but for the WWE, where they're just going to
necessarily named Wrestlepalooza. Can they change the name?
I think they're going to keep it at
annual event?
Wrestlepalooza. I think they're going to keep it Wrestlepalooza.
Cody Rhodes even called it out for being a stupid name.
It is a stupid name. As we already talked about, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar will open the show. Rod, are you excited for the match, and who you got?
No, I'm not excited for the match, Jimmy. And I'll tell you why. I've been pretty consistent on this podcast about I'm not really big on one-offs, like just quick pop in, pop out appearances. I'm just not really big on that. And I'm also just not big on the WWE just squashing themselves. Okay. If Brock Lesnar is back to be super mega scary heel, maybe don't put him in the ring with R-Truth, so he splits his pants and then laughs in the camera as he's walking off stage. All right. I'm sorry. Brock Lesnar's supposed to be angry. I'm going to kill John Cena. And you put him in the ring with R-Truth and basically had him come out looking like a good guy. What are we doing?
Mark, the Crippler, thanks, buddy, for sending a couple things in here while we're talking here. Crippler wants Kevin Owens to go against John Cena, I think, in his final matchup. That's not possible right now because the neck injury, but I like where you're going with that. I love it. And then also he said, don't mess with the start times. I think you have to mess with the start times for WrestleMania because of just the time difference. You don't want the people in Saudi Arabia going to an event at 3:00 in the morning. This isn't a boxing show. Come on, guys. Chris, I kind of agree with Rod here where, Lesnar coming back. Okay, it got a pop. I'm kind of over it at this point because he's going to come in. They're going to have a 5-minute match. Cena's going to win, I'm assuming, and then they're going to move on to something else. Chris, your thoughts? I've got Cena winning.
To be honest, the fact that Lesnar was going to be there would have been the only reason, and was the only reason I thought about buying a ticket. But I figured, no, I got to go to Rumble. I saw some great matches there. I don't need to go to Wrestlepalooza just because Lesnar's going to be there. And I don't know if I care. I mean, if I have a feeling we may see Cena start losing all the rest of his matches since there's no reason for him to win anymore. I don't know. I'm afraid that I don't care about John Cena's farewell tour anymore.
Yeah. Me too. I really wanted to go. I wanted to take the kids. We've talked about that a few times on the show where it would be the last time you see John Cena. You get to see AJ Lee and CM Punks, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins. You get to see a lot of cool stuff. We're going to the Titans game instead. Titans Colts. 3 tickets for the Titans Colts game is a lot cheaper than 1 ticket was for the Wrestlepalooza in the same general area. So that's kind of what made the final decision there.
I got Lesnar in this match though, Jimmy.
You do?
To what I said about I've got Lesnar in this match. I think he's actually going to kind of squash Cena quickly, lay some real damage on him, and then John's going to be off for a couple weeks because that just helps the fact that he only has a handful of appearances left anyway. So
well, then who comes out to help John Cena? Who comes out? Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar. Let's do it again.
R-Truth.
SummerSlam.
R-Truth.
A few years ago.
R-Truth.
It doesn't matter who comes out. Brock just walks away anyway.
That's true. We have Io Sky versus Stephanie McCurry for the women's title, the vacant women's title. I think Asuka interferes and causes Io Sky this match here. I think Stephanie walks out the women's champion, Chris.
You might be right, Jimmy. You're smarter at this than I am, but I like Io Sky, so I'm going to root for her and think that she's going to get the title.
Roger, the tiebreaker.
I abstain from picking this match in protest of the fact that this is how they're going to give someone the women's title belt vacated by Naomi.
I commend you for that, Rod, because you're not wrong.
I do. I'm sorry. I do. I give Chris the shine for the attorney thing being his gimmick here on the podcast, but I said from the start that it should be this. I've consistently said this. I don't understand why we didn't have sham preliminary matches. I don't understand why Michin, B-Fab, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Alba Fire. I don't understand why these people didn't get rubs. It's like, hey, you guys are actually in the running to be women's champ, even though we know they're not. Like, like to me, doing a match this way is like saying the quiet part out loud. And like that goes against everything that we're supposed to be doing, building people up in professional wrestling. So I abstained from picking this match.
So you did the tournament, but you started at the final match, the finals. You didn't even do the prelims or anything like that. Yeah. I agree, but I think the Asuka Io Sky will really be good moving forward, and then Asuka Rhea Ripley. There's going to be so many good matches coming out.
If you're Kairi Sane, you have to be super pumped about this new storyline where you get to even less to do, and you're bullied around by Asuka the entire time. Like that's just got to be absolutely great for Kairi.
Yeah, Kairi's been. It's so weird because she's really really good, but she does forget some spots in her matches, and it's. I mean, it's kind of worrisome a little bit. Yeah, but she's just going to be thrown to the side a little bit here, I think. You're right. Yeah. And she's going to be taking a lot of L's in tag team matches, too.
Yes.
We have the Usos reuniting, but are they against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed? I mean, listen, the Usos are the greatest tag team in the history of the WWE. But Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are winning this match, aren't they, Rod?
Absolutely, they're winning this match. And Jimmy, this the thing that you and I talk about so often when the WWE really doesn't know what to do, make it seem like two tag team partners are fighting. And I just think we're getting to that too soon. You said it yourself. Yeet is not dying out yet. We don't need to be trying to make Jey Uso be a bad, which is the only way it seems that they're trying to hint at with this garbage that they're pulling right now. So I don't like it. I think Braun and Bronson are going to absolutely waste, probably nefariously, but they will waste the Usos.
Chris, does LA Knight appear and go full heel here?
Ooh.
I don't think so.
Okay.
We aren't one to see him interfere too often. If he's going to interfere with anybody, it'd probably be the Rollins Punk match. That's who he really wants anyway.
He and Jey Uso going at each other, though, a lot.
Yeah, but as of right now, he got the last say in.
Listen to the excuses Chris is making for LA Knight right now. Like, think of the great content we will get if LA Knight does turn, Jimmy, and the way Chris always defended him.
How can he be? You're talking about turning. It's the same thing, right? He's not turning against anybody. He's not trusting the people that cost him the belt. All right? I don't care how many yeets. I don't care how many yeets we've heard over the past year or whatever. The Usos are not good guys, all right? They're not. They're not faces. They are the heels.
He has so much trouble with the turn and who's facing who's heel, Jimmy. He has so much
Jey Uso is like the number one baby face in the company.
He has so much trouble. He has such a long memory. It's his whole fan thing, right, Jimmy?
Does.
It's his whole fan thing.
I love it. Listen, they're going to turn one of them. And I'm just hoping it's LA Knight because I think LA Knight could do a better job as a heel than Jey Uso.
Yes, you give me a little bit of LA Knight mixed with a little bit of Max Dupree, right? A little bit of that character, not necessarily a fashion, model manager, but like the energy that Max was bringing. LA Knight can definitely be heel.
Chris isn't buying it. When LA Knight and Drew McIntyre formed the greatest heel tag team in WWE history.
And Chris will call them the good guys. He'll make it like they were the mega powers.
Hey, listen, man. Crippler also. Is this Drew commentary from Chris all over again? Yeah, it is. If
we see Drew and LA Knight team up, they're like the Knights of the Round Table or something. Like, you can't get better than that.
Oh my God.
The Knights of the Round Table. Thanks for the King Arthur reference. The only man who was around during that time.
You were in that, weren't you? Weren't you in chair 4?
There's some things I just can't talk about on the pod there, Jimmy.
Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the world. Hey, Cody Rhodes is wrestling. That'll be fun. Cody Rhodes came back after being just destroyed, his head destroyed by Drew McIntyre. I think this is going to be a really good match. I love this match. I really kind of want Drew to win, but I think Cody's going to win, though. I mean, Cody's going to win, Rod.
Cody always wins, but I must admit, I was somewhat excited to see Cody. I was yelling. Well, not really yelling. I was saying in my head, I was like, Cody, 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 as that match was, coming to a draw there. I was like, what are we gonna do? And then when his music hit, I kind of popped up a little bit and I was like, well, look at that. I just got a tad bit fired up for the American Nightmare there. So yeah, I think Cody's gonna win. Cody always wins. He's so protected. I mean, he's the most protected guy in the company. I'm not giving him a shot at that. It's just facts are facts.
Okay, so here's the situation, Rod. I'm not a gambling man, but I'm gonna go all in. I know Chris is rooting for Drew McIntyre, so I know Chris is gonna pick Drew McIntyre. All in.
All in.
Yeah, and you'd win because Drew's gonna win.
I'd love it. Honestly, I'm with Jimmy.
If you want this to be a gigantic event for ESPN,
you want to beat AEW? Have the belt change hands.
That's why they put it on the same.
I love that
day
Chris
as
brings up AEW when it helps his argument. Otherwise, he just completely dismisses it out of hand. But when it helps
I didn't even know he knew what it was.
AEW.
I learned it from you. All right.
I learned it from you. Okay.
Oh, it's so great because John Cena, Brock Lesnar does nothing for anybody. No. A title change is going to be big, but I will tell you. Some of the best ratings and some of the best work has been in the CM Punk, AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins. This is going to close the show. Going to be a terrific matchup. And you got to send the folks home happy. Mm-hmm. CM Punk, AJ Lee are winning this match. Unless they don't. Chris, your thoughts? Chris has no thoughts.
Seth Rollins pin CM Punk. It's the only way I want to see this match end.
Okay, Seth Rollins pins CM Punk. It's the only way you want to watch it. Okay, so if Seth Rollins pins CM Punk, that really kind of takes CM Punk out of that world title.
Good.
Whoa. Okay, Rod. Chris is a fan. You're a WWE. You kind of know what's going on. Do you see that happening? I actually think that's the least likely outcome.
Yeah,
Rod.
No, there's zero chance that Seth Rollins pins CM Punk. Zero chance. The pinfall is going to be Becky or AJ Lee. One of those two is going to be on their back. And what I think is going to happen is we are going to have an absolute war. All right. We've seen Becky Lynch be involved in these kind of matches. She has an absolute back. AJ Lee has had plenty of time to get herself ready to take some falls in this match. CM Punk hasn't been injured for a while, so he's probably prepared to take a couple of big falls and maybe be hurt if he needs to. Right. So what we're going to have is we're going to have basically all four competitors are going to be laid out. Right. CM Punk's going to be over through the announce table somewhere. Right. Seth Rollins is going to be, he's just going to be put to sleep, like back up over on the ramp. Right. And Becky's going to be laid out on her back in the ring with AJ Lee, both laid out back in the ring. Right. All of a sudden we cut to the side of the ring and we see somebody crawling up the stairs. It is none other than Rue Lopez, Seth and Becky's little girl. She comes in, puts Becky's arm on top of AJ Lee. Seth and Becky win the match with help from the other family member.
Rod's trying to start up a new bloodline.
Jimmy, I think I just gave you something even less likely to happen than what Chris said.
Actually, I still think it's more likely to happen. But where's Larry, though? Does Larry come in?
Oh, yeah. Good point. Larry the dog. He's already been
there. Is Rue coming in,
too.
But Larry knocks Rue out?
No, Larry actually got stomped by Seth Rollins in an absolute heinous act. My guy Seth Rollins stomps Larry. The crowd is aghast. And then that's when CM Punk gets him and puts him to sleep.
So we're building up here, Chris, to a CM Punk and Seth Rollins championship match and a Becky Lynch and AJ Lee match. Mark also has no words apparently for what we just said. So that's perfect.
That's what I do here, Jim.
So Chris, I can see. Speaking of heinous, Rod, What if Seth Rollins curb stomps AJ Lee?
Oh, I'm not sure that I
And-
want to get behind that. Stomping a
I'm
dog. I'm all for it.
Or Becky Lynch pins CM Punk. Think about that. Where CM Punk
Punk's
gets
getting pinned. I'm all for it. All right,
know,
Phil
he
can
gets-
just go. He
Dude.
can get beat up,
Dude.
fed to whoever. He can get pinned by Becky. He can get
Fed
pinned by
to?
Seth.
Why are cannibals involved all of a sudden? What happened?
Sending the folks home happy is a double go to sleep. And
Jimmy, Oracle. Haven't seen the Oracle for a while. Oracle going to show up in the tag team match, or does he show up at the end?
it would be at the end here. Maybe the Oracle comes out holding Larry.
He brings out Larry and Rue. He's got Larry in one hand and he's got Rue in the other hand.
Oh
And he comes out and he's holding one up and he's letting the crowd decide. He's letting the crowd decide which one.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, Rod. Everyone just starts. The crowd's going crazy. What's going on? Who's climbing the steps? Is that a child?
I think Rue's like what, 3, something like that, between 3 and 4. Yeah,
I think
5
so.
maybe at the most. I just
Oh
had,
my-
listen, Jimmy, I'm here for entertainment, right? Like
4.
you said, I do. So you're absolutely right that we're getting a CM Punk victory here, and we are going to get something that makes CM Punk and Seth Rollins continue their boiling hatred, and we're going to see an AJ Lee Becky match probably sooner than we'll see a Seth and CM Punk match, because the AJ Becky match will be a way they'll continue their feud, because they'll be out at the ringside as valets and all that. You know what I mean? So we got story.
Yeah.
We'll keep churning there.
Yeah. This isn't going anywhere, Chris. I'm sorry, buddy.
Seth's still going to have the belt on him. He's not going to lose that. Paul Heyman won't let him.
And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the Morgan Knows Podcast Network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Rod, Chris, and Rue.
That's right, Rue. You heard it. You heard it here. I know you're a big time listener. You're writing in emails all the time, like all you others should do out there. Write us an email sometime. Give us a comment, a like. It helps out the show.
Like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye, net. Yeah.
Chris, you were on one tonight, dude. You were